Hello, and welcome to the first podcast. I call this one the Diaries. Today, in our studio, the kitchen, we have Sarah.
Hi.
We're going to be discussing emotions. How do we handle feelings and talk about emotions?
How do we though?
Dude, I don't know.
How do we just talk about it? No, but serious question. How do you just walk up to someone and be like, yo, this is what I'm feeling?
Actually, it's sometimes not so hard. Like, if you like someone, you would be like, yo...
Not everyone has that ability to do so.
Hang out.
Not everyone has the ability to do so because the people that feel the most fear the most. That's what I think.
It's true. That's true. So when it comes to communicating your feelings towards someone, it also has to be you mustn't feel like you're insecure and shit.
That's the thing. That's what I'm saying. What if you're insecure about feelings? What if your insecurity is your biggest feeling?
You know what? I felt like I knew what feelings were before this conversation, but now I'm not so sure anymore.
That's the point of having these conversations, though. Because you can't just go with what everyone says and what you think it is. You got to actually pinpoint what it is, and sometimes that's not as easy as you think.
Okay, what's the difference between feelings and emotions?
I don't think there's much difference.
Really? So if you have a strong emotion about something,
feeling can be more. Okay, the only way I'd describe the two is emotions is emotional, in your emotions, and then feeling is more physical. It's you feel physical pain, and emotions is in you.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah. We need.
That's the only way I'd describe it.
Thank you. That's actually a good distinction.
When I think feel, I think physical.
Yeah.
The giant sized bruise on my leg. I feel that. Not in my emotions, but it's there.
Oh, okay.
How would you walk up to someone and just say what you feel? What your emotions are? How would you think is the right way? Not the right way, but the way that works best for you?
I feel like I'm pretty straightforward in a way.
That is true. You're very straightforward with how you feel. And it's weird because in high school you were not. You were a closed book. You were difficult to read. But now you're just this is how I feel. Suck it. Take it or leave it.
I don't know how to say it. Okay.
Say what?
But you had some ash in your leg.
Really, Taryn? You couldn't... how do you think that makes me feel? We're talking about feelings here and you're making me look stupid. Thanks for that.
Okay.
I'll tell you how I feel now. Betrayed.
I'm so sorry, I didn't mean to do that.
It's okay, I feel better.
When you moved, I figured the ash would have fallen off anyways.
Clearly not. It's on the carpet now. So
well, there it's gone now, so clearly yes.
Yeah, because I did this.
Yeah.
Okay, feeling. Tell me. I don't know, something about feelings.
How to be honest about feelings.
How to be honest.
It's easy. I feel like that's bad to say it's easy because it's actually not that easy in a certain situation. Okay, let's do a scenario.
Okay.
Are
you gonna give me one?
Yeah, we're in a bar right now.
Oh Jesus, okay.
And you're a complete
stranger.
stranger.
I've had alcohol. This doesn't count.
And I'll be like, hi. How are you today?
My initial reaction is good. Yeah. I'll just be like, yeah, good, thanks. You?
That's good. I'm also good.
I wasn't continuing with it. I thought that was the end of it. Okay, great. Tequila, please. Tea. Tequila. We're drinking tea. Okay. But that's what I'm trying to say.
You're good.
I'm
good.
Just gonna say, even if I'm having the shittest day ever, and you're a random person, you come up to me and you're like, hey, how's it going? How are you? I'm not gonna be like, well, listen here, bro. How much time do you have? I'll be like, no, I'm good, thank you. I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah, it depends on who I know.
Okay, say I'm your best friend.
Oh no, I'll tell you straight up.
Alright, we're sitting at the kitchen counter right now, and I'm like, say how are you?
Oh Lord, I don't think they're ready to.
Oh, that's true. That's a conversation for another day.
Yeah.
Okay, in readers.
I think these readers want to be scarred readers. These listeners. All three of you. Thank you. We support you.
We will sustain from emotionally traumatizing you.
Yeah, we'll keep that for later on.
Here we go. Emotional trauma.
Oh God.
Say something happened in the past, right?
Yeah.
And say something happens and you always doubt yourself because of that thing. And then as you grow up, you end up dropping a lot of things because you still had that doubt with you even as you grew.
Okay.
And then somehow you went through a phase of learning and growth and forgiving yourself. And
I feel like you're describing me right now. I feel very attacked.
so you go through a lot of learning and growing, and you forgive yourself, which is weird. You forgive yourself for something that was caused by... Was it caused by you? Was that doubt caused by you?
No.
Interesting, because a lot of
but it
people
doesn't
don't
matter
realize,
if it's caused by me or not.
that,
You still carry that doubt.
Yeah, exactly.
Because you're still involved in one way or another. Even if it wasn't your problem to begin with, almost. Or it shouldn't have been your problem. You still carry the doubt.
It's true. We go through all this learning. We're like, okay, it's not my fault that I'm insecure sometimes and I doubt myself and I made mistakes. But I'm going to try to do different from that. Instead of telling myself, oh, I'm so stupid, and thinking I'm so stupid all the time, I'll be like, oh, I can do this.
Yeah.
But it takes a certain process to get to that sort of thinking.
It takes a lot.
Yeah, which is weird. Because even though you go through all this practice and trying to like change that narrative, there's times of doubt when it eats you as hard as it did back then. But now you're better equipped to deal with it.
So it's not like you get over it, you just get through it.
Yeah.
So, okay. So you don't carry... it's there, you acknowledge that it's there, but kind of like a motivation to get you through the rest, in a sense. So like trauma.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So those emotions, it's weird because you can feel a certain way, but you feel okay in a certain situation and you behave like you're good and stuff, but you still have that emotion hidden inside. And then when you're not in a place where you feel all that energy and stuff, and that emotions are still there,
probably comes rushing to the surface. Because for example, I'd go out with friends or whatever, and then there's drunk people around me and they're like falling over and stuff, but I'm with friends and I'm out, so that can't affect me on the outside just as much as it's affecting me on the inside. But then when I'm alone and I think about it, I don't have that barrier. I don't have those people around me, so it's going to come rushing to the surface.
Yeah.
Because it's still fresh.
Yeah.
Like it reminds you regardless. Whatever's at the surface, doesn't matter how old it is, it's there. It's like forefront.
Exactly.
But how do you deal with that? Like if you in that certain situation, how would you deal with it now rather than then?
Yeah, well, now it seems like it's because there was a certain wall between yourself and between getting through it.
Yeah,
there's a way to go over it. And I feel like that bridge is communication, because a lot of the...
But what if you have communicated? Like what if you do talk about it? What if it's like just stuck there, it's just there forever, that's it?
Well, a certain way that it helps you through that like emotion is to feel a different way. So if you talk about it, you feel lighter, you let it go, it's out. Or also it helps you to clarify, like if you want to ask someone something, you find out by asking them.
Okay, but I'm saying in a sense of...
Okay, we were at the beginning, it's communicating emotions.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if, say, that person made you angry, you can be like, hi, I was really upset by what you did, and it hurt me in this way. Like sometimes it's hard to kind of cause that kind of conflict because that person might not act positively
what if
towards
they
it.
don't act positively? Wow, they don't act positively towards what you're saying. So like you go up and say this is what like irritated me and blah 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 blah, and then they just take it a completely different direction. Then what do? Do you continue trying to explain it, or you just walk away and you still have that like at the forefront because you haven't gotten an opportunity to say it?
The message didn't go across.
Yeah, because it helps talking to someone else, but if you're not facing the problem, I don't think the problem becomes any less of a problem.
This is weird because now it's gonna sound like we talk about relationships.
No.
For sure, you have that emotion. You have that emotion, and say that emotion isn't even related to that person. Say you were...
I think that's a deeper conversation than we actually think it is.
I know what you mean.
Like, I think it's like, it's on a lot more of a personal level because you need to go deep to understand it and to talk about it.
Yeah.
Even if you don't need to, you will end up going deep.
Yeah.
Because as soon as you start speaking about emotions and feelings and how you're feeling, it's like you just can't stop going deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper until you've hit the bottom.
Yeah.
And then it's like, fuck, I shouldn't have said all that.
Yeah.
Like that.
Okay, so
it's like an endless pit.
So through conversation, honest expression of emotion.
Yeah.
So if it can't happen that way because of, say, conflict and...
a block or something.
Yeah, conflict and or it won't resolve the emotion.
Yeah.
Then what other ways are there to bridge that gap, basically, that emotion is pulling you into?
If it's got to do with another person, I feel like you need the other person to kind of cooperate in order for you to bridge it. Unless you're like super like emotionally like strong to forgive them without them saying sorry. To forgive and forget and move on. Well, not forget, but move on.
That's true.
Like,
that's true.
A lot of people, 90% of people can't do that. Or the other one, I don't know what the other option would be though.
It's true though.
Like, what would the other option be besides talking about it? That's it.
I would say there's also expressing yourself in other ways. Like, say...
Oh, like surfing, drawing.
Yeah, like, say, changing the feeling. That's what I keep thinking about. Changing the feeling that surrounds that emotion. Say...
Okay, you do have a point there. Because, like, if I'm, like, super pissed off, all I want to do is go surf. Yeah. And then I go through the period where I just don't stop. And I feel better afterwards.
Yeah.
So, I get you. Actions speak louder than words.
It's true. It's such a complex thing to think about, because like I was reading this book, Emotional Intelligence, and it spoke a lot about the brain, and it made you like think, okay, this is where all these kind of senses come from. Like, obviously we're primitive beings.
Yeah.
We survive of certain ways that are built into our mind frame, basically.
Yeah.
And we obviously react stronger on emotions than on anything else, and on logic, basically.
Yes, that is true.
Like,
we think with our hearts, not our heads. Or we do think with our heads, but our hearts are a lot louder.
Yeah.
God damn evolution.
Yeah, that's true.
And
sometimes that little bit of control of having, like, say, emotional intelligence can be the difference between, say, killing someone out of rage and being able to talk about it.
Oh, we're going into this now. Okay, wait, repeat yourself so I don't get it twisted with what you're trying to say.
Emotional intelligence.
Okay. Very far in between. Continue.
Well, we were speaking about emotions and feelings, and I was thinking, let's bring up a little bit of science into this. And yeah, so in the book, basically, there's an example of how emotional intelligence changes the difference between killing someone out of rage and having a conversation about it and diffusing the conflict without any violence involved. Because we are primitive beings. People respond easily on hate, on happiness, on joy. Like
they respond to the strongest emotions. So that would be either love or fear. Those are the two strongest emotions. Hate is pretty strong, but fear is strong enough to stop you in your tracks. So if people bounce off between those two and only focus on those two rather than thinking with their heads, that's where like emotional intelligence wavers.
So yeah,
that was yes.
So think before you act. That's basically it.
Moral of the story, kids: think before you act and stay in school. I don't know. You can go if you want to. No, but you were saying, what do you think is the strongest emotion?
Well, I think all emotions are kind of strong in its own way, and
if they were all like budging, fighting to the surface, what do you think will break through first?
The thing is, while I was like studying emotional intelligence, there's a certain there's certain emotions that are easy to identify, and basically being able to identify your emotions is the first step to like becoming aware and how you think and how you feel.
Oh, so you
about
don't
how you feel about how you think, stuff like that.
So, like, for example, you don't confuse fear with hate, or
like
you know
like
exactly
the root of your emotion,
feeling.
like what are you feeling.
But is there a way to do that while you're feeling it in that moment?
I think there is.
So, like, there's a way for you to, like, pinpoint it before it goes any further.
Yeah, I do think so.
Do you, or would you be able to do that?
Honestly, it's something you have to practice if you want to become good at it. And obviously just trying it and forgetting about it and, just going back to old habits of jumping the gun, or not communicating or just acting on whatever emotion is holding you back. Sometimes you have to actually think, okay, what's holding me back? You think about it and it leads to a certain feeling, a certain problem, certain issue that you feel strongly about, basically. And the reason it's so complex sometimes is because the core emotion is surrounded by subsections, or sometimes it's a combination of certain things. But there's always a root, and if you can recognize it and be able to breach whatever's now holding you back, say if you had to express it, basically, say you need to talk to the person about it, or you need to do whatever you feel like doing, like in a moment to get away from that pain, like draw, make music. So that kind of thing, like what emotion is that you're feeling.
Okay, but then how do you identify to control the emotion? Is that also something you need to learn? Say like I'm angry and I know that I'm angry, but what do I do to stop being angry? Even if my fallback, which is surfing, isn't working. Like when I'm upset, I don't want to go surfing. But when I'm angry, I want to go surfing. When I'm pissed, I want to go surfing. But when I'm upset, it's a different emotion. I don't want to go surfing. So what do I do then if I don't have something to fall back on? But I want to stop the emotion. Not stop it, but like calm it down.
It's true, okay.
Then how do you like pinpoint what's going to work?
Honestly, I don't have a technique for that.
Your face, you're like, fuck! You had like crickets going off in your head. In that moment, you looked at me, you were like, what?
Okay, maybe there isn't a way to just pinpoint and directly say,
see, I'm making you think now.
Absorb that emotion.
I'm making you think.
But, it could be because it's a process that takes time, and it takes different time for different people. Like, say you're a parent, you have possibly more patience for toddlers than someone who generally doesn't, you know what I mean? Who doesn't have that responsibility towards, say, small children.
Wait, what?
I feel like that was a weird example. But it meant something. So...
emotional intelligence.
Yes.
Babies.
You're more in that environment where you kind of...
So you need to grow up in a certain environment to learn how to use it.
That's actually... I don't feel like that's the case.
Because what I'm understanding is I need to grow up in a hateful environment to learn how to use it.
Say you learned up growing about emotional intelligence, growing about emotions. Then say if you did later in life, like you never knew why you were angry all the time.
Okay, so if you grow up in like a forgiving and a understanding household, then you become that emotion.
Yeah, like if you grew up in a places where emotions are like expressed honestly, you see.
Oh, what if you didn't?
You see.
So it's basically your environment that decides it for you.
I wouldn't say it's just your environment though.
Your environment meaning the people around you, situations, circumstances, things like that.
I wouldn't say just that though.
Okay, what else? You can't just say just that. What would be a defining factor other than your environment? Environment and environment.
Your environment.
No, I pointed that out.
It would basically be, I think, the way you feel about yourself in the world.
Is that going to define it?
No. Let's see. That can't just be it though. Okay. So say you have the ability to recognize your emotion and you now want to kind of deal with it. Okay.
What if you have the ability? I say ability in quotation marks, but what if you have the ability to feel more than one emotion at the same time? Because with ADHD you can do that.
I was gonna say I feel like everybody has the ability to feel that,
but not just like anger and sadness. That's a common. But I'm saying like within seconds it changes.
Oh, I see.
Like you go through being excited to fearful to happy to sad to emotional to angry from one situation. Like how do you work on that? I'd love to know if you have any tips, please. Would be brilliant.
Well, as you can tell, I haven't finished the book.
No, because you keep jumping.
There was lots of parts about the different parts of the brain and where emotions come from. And wow, I actually feel like that's a big point there because it's all in your head in a way.
I know. I know people get pissed off when you say like it's all in your head, but it's literally your emotions is in your head. Like when you're feeling like people with like ADHD, for example, and they're being fearful about a certain situation that's not obviously that much needed to be fearful.
Yeah.
And then you come up to me and you say it's all in your head. I can't lash out at you and be like, oh, stop saying that. Mental illness isn't a joke. But like it is, it's in your head. It doesn't mean it's not there. It just means that it's in your head. It's not in that other person's head. The other person can't see it.
Yeah.
It's in your head.
It's something you have to recognize within yourself. So obviously it's not right for someone to just tell you that.
It's a 50-50. So obviously like when people say that to me, I'm like, really? I know that. I know it's in my head. Like you can some people take it, like come across as, oh, it's all in your head, it's not real. Can't see it, it's not real. But when some people say it's all in your head, like they're kind of saying, listen, I can't do anything about it, sorry. It's up to you.
Yeah, exactly. It's not an excuse to just be like, yeah, it's all in my head. That's not a reason to like. That's why I'm feeling like this. Just because I always feel a certain way. I think a certain way.
Yeah, but some people growing up, when they would say they're being told it's all in your head, in that vindictive way, they grow up thinking that, okay, it's obviously not that important. It's all in my head. It's something I need to deal with by myself. Yes, correct, but not to the point where you're breaking because you can't do it anymore. So you need to, like, it's all in your head, and it's all in your head. It's like,
doesn't that phrase kind of ruin the whatchamacallit of prevent, say, honest communication about emotions? So you tell this person you're feeling a certain way.
No, that's definitely a conversation killer.
And then that person says, it's just all in your head, just get over it.
That's definitely a conversation killer.
Yeah.
100%. I remember the one time, I'm not going to name names, but I was speaking to this person about, like, not emotions, but, like, a very savory way of explaining how I was feeling. And then immediately, it was like, they were like, oh, it's all in your head. Straight up, not telling a word of a lie.
Wow.
That put a damper, like, that kind of puts, like, a whole stop on you trying to explain it. I'm going to assume everyone thinks it.
Yeah.
Even though it's definitely not true, but if you come to me and you say how you feeling and I go, it's all in your head, you're going to be like, fuck, okay, maybe I shouldn't have said it then. You're going to regret saying it, then you're not going to want to say it again. But still, like, it's got truth in it. That's what's irritating.
That is what's irritating.
Like, I hate it when people say it, but afterwards I'm like, yes, they're not lying though. They're telling the truth.
Yeah.
Like, it is in my head. They can't see it.
Yeah, exactly.
I can't see it either.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
Yeah, that's basically them saying, you know what, that's just your problem.
Yeah, I mean, that's what they're saying, but, like, they're not lying.
Exactly.
That's what's so frustrating. Topic number 5.
Yeah, that's just basically, I feel like something that people say, and it basically invalidates your feelings. So
yeah, if it's not affecting them,
it causes more kind of damage now, because now you feel like you're stuck with this, like it's just all in your head, you know what
you're
I mean?
all alone in it.
Yeah.
It signifies that you're all alone.
Yeah, like, okay, nobody's gonna understand me, it's fine.
Yeah, but that sucks though, because talking about it, you don't know who you're talking to. Like, you could be talking to someone who's going through exactly the same thing, and you're not going to talk to them because you're afraid that they're going to say the same thing that the previous person said. It's all in your head. Meanwhile, it's all in their head too. So for them, it's like you're kind of stopping yourself from talking about it to someone who may or may not know what you're going through.
There we go.
So it puts fear into you, so you don't talk about it, and then one day all of a sudden someone mentions it and you're like, oh, light bulb moment, there's more. One of us. It's like a block.
Yeah.
It's like a full-on brick wall.
That's empathy. That's being able to actually feel that person's emotions as if they were your own, because you know what it's like. Or you can imagine what it's like. You see this person going through this pain, and it's not just all in their head, because you can see what they're going through, in a way.
Yeah, but what can that empathetic person do though? Like, just be there to talk? Or what I've noticed with people with like empathetic people, like people with like hectic emotions, I noticed that they, when you talk to them about it, it's something like, I'm not trying to say this rude or whatever, but sometimes it's annoying. Like, especially when the empathetic person's not necessarily going through what you're going through, but they feel your emotions. Yeah. And they're like, yeah, I know what you mean. I understand what you're going through. And I'm like, yeah, but do you really?
Then that's not honest communication if they...
Yeah, but what if they're in a way that they don't know what to say? They mean well.
I know what you mean.
But they don't know how to say it. Like, because usually the normal response that you grow up learning about is, I understand what you're going through.
Yeah.
I know how you feel. That's this response that we grew up hearing and saying. So what makes you, like, you're not going to know any better. Even though you want to help that person. You've been not wired, that sounds like conspiracy theory, but you've been taught to say that specific line. How does that make you feel? I know what you're going through. I understand. I feel you. Like, it's like, no, you don't think you do. But you can't be rude to them, because then they feel shit and then you feel even worse, and it's like a shit show.
Yeah.
then everyone's crying. We don't want
Everyone's feeling it.
Everyone's feeling it. Even the next door neighbours, they're feeling it. They're empaths too. Everyone's empaths.
We're all in pain.
But you know what I mean?
I know what you mean.
Like, yeah, it's just everything good has its opposite.
It's true, eh? Yin yang.
Like, you have someone to talk to, but it'd be better if you had someone who understood you. That they can genuinely say, I know what you're going through, and then you can genuinely say back, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that. There's very rare occasions that you get 100% instead of a 50-50. That's annoying.
It is.
It's very annoying.
So interesting.
It's a very deep conversation. When you talk about feelings, it gets swept off into so many different branches. For example, you could start off with feelings and end up at, like, I don't know, talking about mental health and stuff like that. Like, you see what I mean? Like, feelings is a bigger tree than you think it is.
Exactly. It's not something you can easily get discussed in a paragraph.
Yeah, it's not like you can draw a picture and be like, that's what feelings is. Like, it's like, okay, if that's what feelings is, then what is this guy feeling, and why is he feeling that, and how is he feeling it, what's his backstory, what's this, what's that, how was he when he was growing up, like, it just keeps going.
Wow.
Like, to really truly feel, you need to keep digging to get to that core emotion. And then it's still, why are you feeling that core emotion, then you go off to a different direction. Like, it's just constantly back and forth. It's like a maze.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jeez. I feel like that's also why therapy is so important.
Sometimes, but not a lot of people. Like, a lot of people like it. But I know a few people that it actually made it a little bit worse.
Yeah.
They actually walked in there.
Well, everyone's different, so we all have different experiences.
Yeah, but the main fixer-upper is going to therapy.
Yeah.
There's no other...
I know.
Really.
Sure. I thought like drugs was the only thing that would like solve depression.
No, but it's funny because antidepressants give you mood swings.
Yeah.
Like antidepressants, like ADHD medication. Yes, it calms you down. Fair enough. Like Concerta, Ritalin, stuff like that. As a child growing up, it calms you down. Yes, it makes you sit still, but it takes away your energy. It takes away. You're tired all the time. You cannot eat anything because you're constantly nauseous. You don't pay attention regardless. All it does is just make you sit still. But you're not listening. You're not there.
Yeah.
It's like your body just goes into a complete and utter shutdown.
It's really more harmful than actually being able to deal with it without it would be.
Yeah, exactly. It causes more harm. But that's what's prescribed.
Because it looks like a treatment. Because you say the child is sitting still now and they're being less all over the place and less fidgety. And they're like, oh, it must be normal.
Yeah,
they must have gone back.
Right way to do it.
That must be right then.
Yeah, but then that kid tries to say, listen, it's making me feel this, that's just side effects.
Yeah.
So you're telling me the side effects make me worse than before I even took the medication?
Yeah.
That doesn't make sense.
There we go, that's not being able to communicate your emotions again.
Yeah, well, you can communicate, but sometimes it doesn't get heard. You see, it just keeps
Why do we
going.
always hit this wall? It's like...
You see, it just keeps going, that's the thing.
Yeah.
Like, you're gonna hit a wall, always. You just gotta learn how to circle back. Not circle back, but reevaluate your steps a little bit. If we don't have that wall, we're constantly going. Then we don't have time to stop because there's an open road 24/7. You don't have just time to stop and think about your actions and decisions and your emotions and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Because if you're constantly running, you're going to wear yourself out. But if you stop, it gives you an opportunity to actually think what you're doing. Life is a maze and it's for a reason. Don't cut corners.
So how would we have, say, better control over our emotions, say?
Okay, give me a certain emotion because I feel like each emotion has a different control.
It's true, just like this fear. Like, say you feel a certain fear about going up on stage and you get like stage fright. You're totally paralyzed.
Okay.
And then there's a fear for your life where someone approaches you with a knife.
I think, yes, okay. No, you got a point. You got a point. There's two different sides, yes. One you will literally die. The other one you feel like you're dying.
Yeah.
Okay, so the one where you feel like you're dying, right? I feel like for me, there's a distinct like difference between the two. Fear for your life is a hell of a lot more urgent. Like adrenaline, I feel like there's two different types of adrenaline. Like, for example, adrenaline on going on a roller coaster once you go on it, you want to go again and again and again, because that adrenaline is like serotonin to you. It makes you happy, it makes you excited, it makes you feel good.
Yeah.
But then a guy's pointing a knife at you, or a gun, that's a different type of adrenaline. That's your body, that adrenaline is your body saying, listen bro, you either run or you fight right now. Like there's no third option.
Yeah.
Like when you're on a roller coaster, you don't have a sudden urge to fucking yeet off of it. But when you've got a gun pointed at you, you want to yeet out the way. Like it's different. Like adrenaline in fear is the defining factor for me. So if I think of fear, I need to figure out what situation it is, because then I know what adrenaline it is. Because your body knows what to do before you do. Your mind works quicker than you think.
True.
And remember, you're also going via your heart as well. Because your adrenaline, like, if that adrenaline doesn't make you feel good afterwards, it clearly wasn't worth it. Hopefully, that's not in a situation where you're being held at gunpoint, because afterwards, this is a different story. But, like, if you go on a roller coaster and your adrenaline makes you want to do it again, then you know it's safe. But that's only after. That doesn't count, eh?
Yeah, that's afterwards.
I don't know. Like, you just know what adrenaline you're getting.
Okay.
It's like when you get butterflies in your stomach about certain people. Sometimes it's not actually, like, good butterflies. Like, you're supposed to feel calm. But butterflies is being disguised. But that's adrenaline. That's your body saying, listen, something's not right here.
Yeah.
Yeah. But, like, performing, I'm scared. I don't fear it. Because fear induces panic. And I don't panic over it. I might have a panic attack, but that's for a different reason. Like, I don't know, it's just, you see, fear is like, I don't know, everything has its own little branches. Like anger as well.
Yeah.
You're either angry or what's the other one? Like anger and fear. Like sometimes you can disguise fear as anger. Or fear can be disguised as anger. Like if you're beating someone up after they try and stab you, is that fear or is that anger? Is it because you're scared of your life? Or is it because you're angry at it? So you see everything like...
Yeah, and it's weird because it can't even be hate. Because, I mean, you can be angry at someone you love as well.
And you can also hate someone you love. It's possible. You can also hate someone you love. Like, you hate that you love them.
Oh.
Yeah. Like, you hate someone, but you don't necessarily hate them.
I see what you mean.
But you can be angry at someone and you can still hate them, or you can be angry at someone but you still love them.
Interesting point.
Interesting point.
You
Fair enough.
can hate, you can love, and you can love hate.
Exactly. There's a song about it.
Oh, this is a very difficult conversation. Well, not difficult conversation, but complex conversation.
It's a confusing conversation. You can get lost in that conversation very quickly and not know where you're going with it. Like, if you don't know what you're talking about, okay, that sounds bad because we probably don't know what we're talking about. But if you're making shit up, you don't understand what you're saying. There we go. Clearly, I didn't understand what I was saying then, but that's easy to see. If you don't understand what you're saying, then you can get lost in it very quickly because you don't know where you're going with it.
Yeah.
Like, if you know your point, it's easy to get there.
So you're saying I don't understand what I'm saying?
I'm agreeing with you. You do understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
But you see how quickly it is to get lost in it.
Very true.
Like, it's not muscle memory to talk about it because you're not used to talking about it, so you don't know where to go.
Should I do more research?
Dr. Phil.
I'm serious. The question is, I feel like we kind of discussed a lot of different ways of dealing with emotions, like clarifying them, thinking before you act.
Yeah.
And the difference between how adrenaline affects your emotions and kind of where it comes from.
Yeah, that is true. Because I feel like adrenaline plays a big part in your emotions.
Yeah.
Big part.
Like, I didn't realize that until, like, you brought it up. Like, I honestly didn't know that. I was, like, literally, like, when I get, like, stage fright, I feel like I'm actually gonna die. And it's, like, it's difficult to, like, step back. And so I was like, okay, so it's kind of, it's just my body doing its thing. And you know what I mean?
Exactly, that's the thing. If your body didn't feel safe, or if you knew that you were genuinely unsafe in that situation, your body would not have let you walk onto that stage. There's no ways. Your body does not have a suicidal tendency. Your body wants to survive.
Yeah.
So if it feels like your life is in danger in that situation, which is a different type of adrenaline, you wouldn't have gone onto the stage in the first place.
Yeah.
But because it knows that it's not life-threatening, it's going to let you do it anyway. Yeah. The first time you performed, you wanted to do it again and again and again. Exactly.
Yeah.
then that fear turns into excitement just because of adrenaline. Adrenaline is the bridge between emotions.
You just gotta be brave enough to face him.
You just gotta understand which is which, and you're good. Okay, your body's got that for you. It's fine.
Yeah, I feel like this topic is too broad to cover in one conversation. So if you enjoyed this content, please like, subscribe.
Stay tuned for part 2 and let us know what you think in the comments below.
For now, BCA
out.
Boom.